See, this is my problem I got with this map right here. Y'all gonna have to help me figure something out, right? You got the Egyptians, right? You got the Babylonians, right? You got the Assyrians, right? Where the fuck did these people go? So you mean to tell me that they was all over here, but they got sent on a Atlantic slave trade, but we didn't? So how in the hell did all of those people just disappear from over here? Now they on the other side of the world. Y'all gonna have to explain that. Either we got removed or they got removed. Which one is it? The scriptures clearly tell you in Leviticus chapter 26, verse 34, the Most High is given a distinction between your land and their land. He said that while your land remain desolate, you gonna be in the land of your enemies. So that's not talking about you're not in your land right now. He's coming to deliver us and gather us back and take us back to our land. But y'all trying to go against the word of the Most High and act like y'all had this whole thing figured out.
So the first scripture we're going to go to is Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 27. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither Yahuwah shall lead you. So Yahuwah said he will scatter us among the nations, and we will be left few in number among the heathen. When you go out in the hoods, when you walk out your door and you're in the hood, which is where most black people live. They don't live in the white neighborhoods. They live around other Negroes, right? When you walk outside, you're going to see other Negroes. All on the porch, drinking, smoking, chilling, shooting dice. Who's to say all those people are Israelites? Who's to truly say you got tall, dark skins, short, light skins, tall, brown skins, big nose, big lips, skinny lips, big forehead, small forehead. People who all are called Negroes. You got different hair textures, different voices, etc. And you really think that each and every one of those people are Israelites? That's something to think about, right? I mean, who's to say all those people are truly Israelites? Who's to say that the Egyptians, Babylonians, and Assyrians truly just disappeared? Nobody said that. Nobody even said they left the land. They're still here. And I'm going to prove it. Another thing I want to point out, we're not in the Holy Land. Most Negroes in America do not live in the Holy Land. The Holy Land is specifically Western North America. Specifically Western North America. If you look at any map about where Negroes live today in America, you will see that we all live on the south and east coast. We do not live in Western North America in high quantities at all. So that's out the door. Yes, y'all said he would take us from the land, and he did. Just because we're on the same continent doesn't mean we're in the same territory. Well, y'all said specifically where we would be in our final captivity. If we go to the book of Isaiah chapter 11, verse 11, it states, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Mizraim and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. If so many Israelites live in North America or was shipped to North America, wouldn't that be like a place mentioned in scripture, like as a special spot for us? He said specifically, he listed the places we would be. He knew where we would be scattered to. Y'all like to say America is Arsareth. We don't even know what Arsareth means. That's a made up place in the book of Esdras, which is New Testament, written in Greek, even mentions JC. Y'all say it's Arsareth. The book of Esdras says Arsareth is a land that nobody lived in before. But we know scripture says that the entire earth was full of people at one point. Y'all's not just gonna have a whole entire continent just empty. Come on, dude. And until the Assyrian captivity, when Israelites decide to go over there, that's ridiculous. The oldest civilizations started in America. They're finding older and older and older civilizations in the jungle of Mexico and South America as we speak, that predate the pyramids of Egypt, that predate the ziggurats of Mesopotamia as we speak with LiDAR technology, bro. They have to rewrite history every day when they do research in the Americas, because they find out that this is the oldest landmass. Come on. Anyway, he said specifically where we would be. Now, where's America mentioned? I don't see North America mentioned. He said from Assyria, from Mizraim, from Pathros, from Cush, from Elam, from Shinar, from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. Where's America? If so many Negroes are in the Americas, not just North America, not just the United States, you can find us in Canada, you can find us in Mexico, you can find us in the Caribbean, you can find us in South America. Since most of us are in the Americas, it would only be safe to assume that at least one of these places should be in the Americas. Let's see. It said Assyria. Yeah, that's in America. That's on the East Coast, you know. From Mizraim, yeah, that's in Americas as well. From the Grand Canyon to the Mississippi down through Mexico, that's also in the Americas. From Pathros, yes, that's also in Americas. From Colombia all the way down to Peru. From Cush, that's in Africa, but also in Brazil, because you gotta understand those two empires were connected at one point. From Elam, that's around Canada. From Shinar, that's where Babylon was in Canada, Quebec specifically. And from the islands of the sea, obviously that's the Caribbean, that's the UK. He said he was seeing a people against us from the end of the earth, from the other end of the earth, as the eagle flies. And people that we have never known. If we lived in the Middle East, we would have known the Greeks, because that's just a boat ride away. A people that we have never known from the end of the earth. If you live in the Middle East, the white man is right there. You could easily get on a boat and go to Greece or go to the white man's land if you lived in the Middle East. And Yahuwah shall utterly destroy the tongue of the Mizraim sea. And with his mighty wind shall he shake his hand over the river, and shall smite it in the 7 streams, and make men go over dry shod. So, the Mizraim Sea, what is that? Well, in the Middle East, that would be the Red Sea, right? So what's the mouth of the Red Sea? That means, what's the river that flows into the Red Sea? Oh, there is none. I wonder why. Now, in Americas, what would be the Mizraim Sea or the Egyptian Sea? The Gulf of Mexico. Now, what river flows into the Gulf of Mexico? Oh, there is one of the largest rivers flows into the Gulf of Mexico, the Mississippi River. Oh, wow. Now, a lot of theologians and biblical scholars say that this mouth of the Egyptian Sea is the Nile. But the Nile River doesn't have 7 streams. It has about 2 or 3 streams that flow into the Mediterranean, which is not the Egyptian Sea. So that doesn't even match. It doesn't even match. How many streams does the Mississippi River have? Well, the Mississippi has 7 major rivers that flow into it. I wonder why. Oh, maybe because that's the mouth of the Egyptian Sea, like scripture says. And he said he shall make men go over dry shod. That means he should make people walk over this river that's the mouth of the Egyptian Sea with dry feet. And I wonder why. In verse 16 it says, and there shall be a highway for the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, like as it was to Israel in the day that he came out of the land of Mizraim. So y'all is basically saying that when he dries up this river is going to be a pathway where the second Exodus will take place, where the Israelites will leave Assyria and go into the land. Let me ask you a question. If you look in the map of what they tell us is Assyria in the Middle East, all those places, Assyria, Shinar, Elam, all those places are in the Middle East. Are we in the Middle East? Now, if you go to the Middle East, are you going to find Negroes like us that are turning to Yah? No. They say that these places are in Iraq, bro, Iran, Saudi Arabia. Are you going to find our people in those areas living there with their families, turning to Yah? No. Those people are in the Americas, in West Africa, South Africa, in the UK, in the islands of the sea. That's it. He already told us what we would be. All this other stuff is actually a lie. And you have to realize that. He said that when he dries up this river, the children of Israel will be coming out of Assyria and going back into the land. It'll be the second Exodus route. You look at that river, that Nile River, over there in the Middle East. Why would we have to cross the river over there to get from Assyria to the land if the Assyrian in the Middle East is to the east of Israel? Therefore, we would not have to cross the Nile to get to Israel. That's a contradiction, which proves the Middle Eastern model is false because our people don't live in that area anyway. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 23. It says, "In that day there shall be a highway out of Mizraim to Assyria, and the Assyrians shall come into Mizraim, and the Mitzri into Assyria, and the Mitzri shall serve with the Assyrians." So it says there's going to be basically a captivity, right? Where the Assyrians as well as the Mitzris are both going to be in captivity together. And there's going to be a highway going from Assyria to Mizraim. In this highway, the Assyrian is going to go to Mizraim and the Mitzris are going to go to Assyria. And they're going to serve together because they're both in captivity. If you look where Assyria is in the real model and where Mizraim is in the real model, with Assyria being toward the east coast around Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and you look where Mizraim will be, Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Oklahoma, as well as Mexico. What highway connects those two territories? Like, there's an actual highway. It's called I-10. I mean, there's another highway too, but I forgot the name of it because I don't use it. But I-10 connects Assyria and Egypt, and it's the major highway that does that, and it crosses over the Mississippi. It crosses over the mouth of the Egyptian Sea. And on this highway, there's literally Egyptians who are Negroes in their cars, in their vehicles, going to Assyria, and Assyrians who look like Negroes as well, in their vehicles coming to Mizraim. And you will never know the difference. And let me tell you why. It says in verse 24, "In that day Israel shall be the third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land." So it says 1/3 of the people will be Israel. 2/3 will be either Egyptian or Assyrian. So that means there's 3 nations of black people in this land, not just one. "Whom Yahuwah of hosts shall bless, saying, Blessed be Mizraim, my people, and Assyria, the work of my hands, and Israel, mine inheritance." So y'all will love all 3 of these nations. Y'all will choose and claim all 3 of these nations. Why? Because all 3 of these nations are in America serving y'all to this day. They all think they're Israelites though. Right now, the black people in America are turning to Yah, worshiping Yah, representing Yah, keeping the commandments. But not all black people are truly Israelites. Some of them are Assyrians. Some of them are Egyptians in America. And they're serving Yah. And Yah said, I will choose the Egyptians and the Assyrians because guess what? They're serving me. They're turning to me. And you have to understand this, man. Yes, there has been Egyptian artifacts found in the Americas. Yes, the Mayans did speak hieratic Egyptian. Yes, there was a whole bunch of Egyptian artifacts found in the Grand Canyon. Yes, the Kincaid's cave was full of Egyptian artifacts of gold and silver. Yes, in Michigan they found a whole bunch of Assyrian artifacts. Yes, in Georgia they found cuneiform tablets. In Montana they found cuneiform tablets of Assyrian origin. Yes, in Indiana they found Libyan writing. Now these are just the artifacts that didn't make it to the Smithsonian, therefore they weren't hidden and stolen. Yes, in South America they found various other Egyptian artifacts as well as Babylonian and Sumerian artifacts. So if you dig into the history and archaeology, all this stuff is adding up. And they're moving the stuff over there to the Middle East and lying to you, bro. That's really what's going on. Yes, there's a ton of Israelite artifacts found in the Americas. They're finding them every day. No race of people on earth retain their biblical nationality. That stuff got changed over time due to conquering and wars. So you really think the Assyrians gonna be somewhere really still to this day calling themselves Assyrians? Do you see the Cushites calling themselves the Cushites? Do you see the Canaanites calling themselves the Canaanites? Do you see the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Edomites still calling themselves who they are? No. So with that being said, the Assyrians and the Egyptians not gonna be calling themselves their nationality anymore, bro. Do you see Philistines still calling themselves Philistines? No. The only people that's truly waking up to their biblical identity is the Israelites. Everybody else is lost in the sauce, bro. Lost in the sauce. They don't even know. They're lost in the system. They got stripped of their nationality. It's the book of Zechariah chapter 10 and verse 6. And this is talking about right now. All those scriptures I was showing you were end time prophecies about Yah bringing us out of the land and reviving his people. Here's another one. And I will strengthen the house of Yehudah, and I will save the house of Joseph, and I will bring them again to place them, for I have mercy upon them. They shall be as though I had not cast them off, for I am Yahuwah their Allah, and I will hear them. And they of Ephraim shall be as a mighty man, and their heart shall rejoice as through wine. Yea, their children shall see it and be glad. Their heart shall rejoice in Yahuwah. I will hiss for them, and I will gather them, for I have redeemed them. So y'all say he will gather us, right? So that hasn't happened yet, right? That's gonna happen in the future, right? So pay attention. And I will sow them among the people. They shall remember me in far countries, and they shall live with their children and turn again. And I will bring them again out of the land of Mizraim. Are the children of Israel in Egypt and Africa right now? No, they're not. You know why? Because that's not the biblical Egypt, bro. That's a whole different setup. He will bring us again out of Mizraim. Didn't Deuteronomy 28 verse 68 specifically say he will bring us back to Egypt? Oh, you thought that was symbolic? No, he will really bring us back to Egypt. He will really bring us back to Egypt, bro. You see, a large percentage of us are in Texas. Large percentage of us are in Arizona, Mexico, right? He will bring us back to Egypt. And that's where we are. Louisiana, Egypt. Large percentage of us are in Louisiana. Large percentage of us are in Missouri. Put an M at the end of Missouri. What do you get? Mizraim. Then you got the Mississippi River. Mississippi River comes from the Anishinaabe language, Great River, just like the Euphrates is called the Great River. So guess what? Multiple scriptures are telling us that we will be scattered to Egypt and Assyria, and you still got your mind made up on Mystery Babylon, Asareth, Babylon the Great, America with 3 Ks. No, what scripture says that stuff, man? You making up stuff. Y'all camps and all these other people with that old understanding making up stuff, adding to the word. The scripture says specifically what we will be in our end days. And he said the first place he will bring us is Gilead. The first place he will bring us is Gilead. Gilead is on the east of Israel. So if Gilead is on the east of Israel, and the first place we're going to be is Gilead, then that means we must be east of Israel right now and not west of Israel right now. And he shall pass through the sea with affliction, and shall smite the waves of the sea, and the deeps of the river shall dry up, and the pride of Assyria shall be brought down, and the scepter of Egypt shall depart away. So he will dry up the river. What river is that? The Euphrates, aka the Mississippi. And it said both Assyria and Mizraim will be affected. That means Assyria and Mizraim share the same river. They share the same river, unlike the Middle East. They don't. In the Middle East, they don't even border each other. But let me show you something. Scripture specifically says that Egypt is placed in the same spot as the American model in that map that's right behind you. 2 Kings chapter 24 and verse 7. The king of Mizraim came not again any more out of his land, for the king of Babylon had taken from the river of Egypt unto the river Euphrates all that pertained to the king of Mizraim. So it says the king of Babylon conquered Egypt. And when he conquered Egypt, aka Mizraim, he took from all the river of Egypt all the way from the Euphrates, he took all that land. And it said all that land pertained unto the king of Egypt. Now, if you look in the Middle East, between the Nile and the Euphrates is not Egyptian territory. That's supposed to be our territory, right? That's supposed to be our territory, right? That's supposed to be Shem's land, right? Not Egypt's land. But if you're looking in America, it makes perfect sense. From the Colorado River to the Mississippi River, all that area belongs to Egypt. So it still fits.